Welcome, my loves. Now it's butterflies. Always sending you guys out peace, blessings, love, and abundance. I'm literally up here smiling because these birds are so silly. I was just drawn to these two or three birds just in. I think it's two, but in the tree just playing, chase like flying after one another. We call it, we would say chasing after one another, but playing. And I see that a lot, a whole lot lately. Um, I actually realized like a couple of months ago that when I'm sitting out here, or even if I'm just outdoors, or I look out the window, my eyes always automatically go to a place where there's a squirrel or a bird in the tree. I automatically like feel that energy and I'm drawn over there. So it's really cool how when you start to get connected with your higher self and you start to get aligned, your chakras and everything aligned, how things just you just start to connect, more. But this video is actually on the divine feminine energy rising during this time, and I just want to talk about some evidence, you know what I'm saying, of that. Lately, I've been noticing, just because I'm outdoors a lot, I walk a lot, I'll go to the park, I'll walk up to town and whatever, and I've been noticing trees bearing fruit. I remember when I went to Jamaica and I was talking to the guy I was dating, and I said, what I love about Jamaica, you walk around, there's mangoes on the tree, they have the apples, just, pretty much anything. You could just find fruit, you can find herbs, whatever, boil you some tea. But here we have all these trees. In Georgia, I was like, they should be bearing fruit. They had cut down all the trees. I was saying they like, the white man cut down all the trees. Honey, when I tell you there are like fruits I've never seen before, growing on trees, just wild out in the bush. And it just goes to show you that it wasn't that quote unquote white people cut down all the trees and took the life away. We took the life away. We took it away because when the divine feminine declined, when the melanated woman got on the bottom of the scales, life started to die. You know what I'm saying? Literally started to die, because remember, we created this shit. I'm not just saying with the melanated woman alone. However, we are the mothers. Mother Nature is called Mother Nature for a reason. So when the mothers of the galaxy declined on this plane, then all life around declined. So that's why there were no trees bearing fruit, because we were no longer bearing fruit. You know what I'm saying? We were blind and ignorant to who we were, and we were trying to be something that we were not, and we were not living our authentic selves, and we were not being our authentic selves. We were not loving ourselves, and therefore we weren't loving each other. We were disconnected from who we are, and we are disconnected from who you are. There's going to be an impact on this physical reality. It just is. So as within, so without. And we have to remember that. We have to get back to, not we have to get back to, now that we're getting back to who we are, and we're loving our hair, and we're loving our skin, and we're loving just, ourselves from the inside out. We're caring about the food that we're putting to our bodies, and we're caring about the food that we listen to and all that. Like, I literally took a break from a whole bunch of secular stuff, what the Christians call secular music and all. I took a break from TV and the news. I watched the first, me pulling up news, I watched the first bit of news on July the 5th. So that was yesterday. I pulled up, no, July 4th. When the California earthquake happened, because Aquarius Maximus, shout out to the goddess Aquarius Maximus, had already called that. She already said that California was going to have earthquakes. She already said that it was just going to be the precursor. It was just the beginning, because the energy is shifting. There's a paradigm shift. So when there's a paradigm shift in the spiritual, there has to be a paradigm shift in the physical. That is actually the evidence of what's happening on the spiritual side. You know what I'm saying? It plays out here. And I remember my spirit told me that's the reason why we went from having one continent to 7, because we had lost sight of who we are. We were declining, and since we were declining, So was this plane that we call Earth was also declining. That's why the plates start separating. You know what I'm saying? And now we had these different bodies of land when we were all one. When we as melanated people were no longer living as one and one love no more, shit, we were divided. So guess what? Everything else divided. Okay? Everything else divided. So getting back into the divine feminine energy, we are now back into the cycle where things are coming together. So all these earthquakes and things like that happening, I really feel like the land masters are going to go back together. The land masters are going to become one if this particular plane continues on, because I know that we're actually creating a new place for ourselves, a utopia for ourselves. Because we've been here for millions, maybe even billions of years. We've been here for many, many cycles, and now that we're in the age of Aquarius, which just signifies the age of coming back to who we are, because the knowledge is now out there for us. The knowledge in our genes has been activated again. Therefore, we're able to tap into all this information that's been on YouTube, like the Bobby Hemmets, the Dr. Phil Valentine's, Dr. Delbert Blair, C. Freeman L., and I can go on for days. We're able to now be aligned to tap into that information. You know what I'm saying? It's no longer hidden from us. Information is hidden from you when you are not vibrating on a certain level. It is hidden knowledge. You know what I'm saying? That's the Amen Ra. You know what I'm saying? That's that hidden light. So now that we have tapped into our own hidden light, now we are able to connect to all these things that was hidden from us before. That's why when people say, why didn't I know about this? Because you weren't the hidden light yet. You hadn't tapped into your own hidden light, so you can tap into that hidden light, all right? Because the knowledge is the light as well, okay? And that's why I say anybody who is out here, like, giving out that knowledge and who has been tapped in and tuned in, your windfall is here, honey. You know what I'm saying? Because you have put in the work. We always think that work is that physical work. That's the indoctrination and that programming. We think that you have to go out there and go and get the money, and going out there and be struggling and working hard, still on that plantation mentality. You got to go out there and you got to work the fields from sun up to sundown. You're still working them fields from sun up to sundown, and that you think that's the only way that you can get money. So you chasing the money, and the money's supposed to chase you. The only thing that you should be really like chasing and so in love with and so enamored with and so want to be a part of is yourself, who you are. And so since that divine feminine, that love is coming back, or it's not come back, is here, you know, this is the season for it. The evidence is showing in nature, in the trees. You seeing the animals playing with one another and loving on one another, the birds in sync and getting along. Because I honestly, birds like here just playing and having a good time. I see bees doing it too. I just see all this life like coming back into this earth, and all this love coming back into this earth, because we are starting to love ourselves again, and we are starting to love one another again. So nature is also doing the same, because remember, we set the pace, we set the tone. All right, so that's really the message I wanted to share with you guys, because it had been on my heart as well, that the trees are bearing fruit again, y'all. The trees are bearing fruit. Nature is singing. The birds are singing really in harmony every single AM when I rise, every sunrise when I rise. You know, look what happened. You know what I'm saying? When we come together and we find our purpose, and we find who we truly are, it changes everything. So, yeah. Everything is coming back together. There's going to be a lot of the plate movement. That's why the earthquakes do have to happen, because we all started off as one land, one people. We're going back to one land and one people, and it has to start in the spiritual first in order for it to get the ball rolling. Remember, I talked about the black screen. The black screen is the screen where all the coding is where all of the information is put in, is where that's where it's all potential, because you are potentially creating your destiny by the energy that you are building up in your spirit, the energy that you're starting to put out here in this physical. that is changing it. So now, you know, when you look with the front of the screen, the front facing part that we see, the light that we see, where we can click on this and click on that, that's really what we're doing now with our life. All right, we are changing the narrative of our story. We're no longer this sad people like we shall overcome. We're no longer this sad people like the victim mentality, woe is me. We are now letting go of that wounded child and that victim mentality, and we have stepped into our true nature, which is royalty. We are kings and queens. We are gods and goddesses. We are the fathers and the mothers of civilization and the fathers and mothers of this universe. We created this shit. So as it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. And that is what's happening. All right. So since one cycle ended, we back. We back in this bitch. But shout out to all my queens, my divine feminine energy. Shout out to all my kings, my divine masculine energy. I love you all, and I appreciate you for watching this video.